everyone, I'm back. This is one of the jigsaw puzzle things, the double-sided things. This is this side. Anyway, and this is this side. It is not painted. So I mixed some colors that I liked, and I was gonna paint. You know, paint. And instead of painting on the carpet like I used to do, which I might still do some, I kind of just got like in my head that it was not good because I kept having issues with it. Because, you know, I would lay, you know, my painting on wet carpet and it would get paint transfer. So I bought some of these plastic cutting mats from the Dollar Tree because, you know, it's my favorite place to shop. So that I can, if I need to, just flip them over or use a different one because they're 2 for $1.25 and I bought 4 of them. So, and they wash off really easy and the paint comes off really easy. Matter of fact, I think I have some Mod Podge or something on them right now, so you might see some shiny bits. I don't know. Anyway, that kind of just is what it is. And you can't really, you know, dry carpet very easily. But, I mean, the carpet thing is great. I'm not saying it wasn't great. I mean, I've used it. I've appreciated it. But, you know, I'm working on, like, a plastic table. So, I mean, I think that kind of helps, too. Sorry. I am feeling like I need more paint. Okay. So, I think that helps too. I'm probably going to have to let this dry before I finish anything else on it. The carpet just was not carpeting for me. And I was getting issues, so, you know, adapt, overcome. I liked this color here in this palette, but once I put it on like next to white, I realized it's kind of darker than I anticipated, and I wanted a lighter color. So that's why. And I'm also not getting that great of a coverage. So that's why I threw some of the white down. Because I have green edges because this was a drip painting. And it dripped over the edge. Yeah, it did. I am probably, when I'm going to be done painting, I have found that as long as I let one side dry long enough, I'm not as having as many issues like wiping it off. Because like once it cures, you know, you've got the ability to kind of go and wash the other side. But you don't have that ability if you go like back to back. So the fact that I have, you know, delayed my procrastination finishing things has actually worked out for me. So there's that. And again, I have some green, and I'm not really that super concerned if some of the green peeks through, because I've got green over here, and I just don't want it to be like making me have to do something I don't want to do. Like, it dictates the whole thing, because my eyes will be like, I must put green all along the edges now. I don't want to do that. I want this to be completely different than the other side. Although, I mean, I do have green and yellow on the other side, so yeah. But whatever. What am I doing? Oh, I should probably do a little of this. Make it go a little faster by spreading it out. And as you all know, white is the worst color in the world to paint with if you get other colors under it, because white does not cover well. On a canvas, I have learned a trick. I can use some gesso in the white paint, and it will actually give me better coverage. But I don't want to use gesso on these, because again, these are not real paintings on canvas. They are going to be jigsaw puzzles. And I was afraid that if I put gesso on these, that might have an impact on how they cut, and it might be brittle and break. So I am definitely not wanting to use anything that would cause my things to break. That probably doesn't make any sense. I don't want the paint to chip off, like in chunks, which might happen if I use the gesso, because it's kind of hard and it may not be as cuttable as paint, because acrylic paint, when it dries, it still dries kind of flexible. So I'm not that concerned about how that works. I mean, you know. And then as soon as I'm done smutzing this background, and you know, there are going to be places where there's a little green. The edges will be trimmed. So, I mean, if you're seeing some on the very edge, I'm not concerned about that. I mean, not a lot of trim, but you know, some trim. So. And I'm just glopping paint on, and then I'll probably come back later and use the rest of these colors because I don't think I'm going to want to paint over this much paint. Sometimes I say stuff and I'm like, that doesn't sound right. I don't want to paint over this much paint. Okay, so if I were to like try and paint it while it's wet, I mean, it's going to mix in with the other colors, and I'm just not going to have what I want, because I know what I want. Actually, I'm not even sure that I want this much texture, but I think I might just leave it because this feels very textured. Okay, so and I don't know if I have a drying spot. All of my other little baskets that I've typically used for drying are being used right now. Okay, there is actually a little bit of paint on this underside, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to do this. I have more of the green paint if I need to. Okay. The other baskets are being, because I have those baskets, the white baskets. The reason I don't have a bunch of them ready to go is because I'm using them for Mod Podge, so, or varnishing and stuff. So I have like 20 paintings being varnished. Let me see if there's another one that I want to do. Oh, I do have this one. I'm just whacking stuff. Okay, so great. I really need to like stop whacking things off the boards. Okay, sorry. You can see my backsplash, it's all janky. Okay, there we go. See, I have it set up where it's not supposed to fall off, but it keeps falling off because, yeah. Okay, so, like I said, when this gets paint on it, I can just, magic! Clean surface. Okay. So, I can wipe off this table too because it's plastic. I have this. And this is the other side. I don't know what I'm going to do. But the other side was the strip painting. So I think, are these colors different enough? Yeah, it's got reds and oranges and stuff too, but I think they're totally different tones, so it should be okay, right? It should be. You hear the decisiveness in my voice, right? Okay, I'm going to go through and paint pink around the edges. And anywhere that's purple, I mean purple. Yay. Anywhere that's red, I'm just gonna paint pink. Actually, you know what? What's the opposite of red? Yellow, right? So maybe yellow would be better because then it would turn it brown or orange. Wait a minute. Red? I'm trying to think on the color wheel. What's the opposite of red? Is it green? It is green. Green is actually the opposite. Yeah, because green and red make brown. So, should I do it green? I don't know. I don't know. I definitely don't want that green showing up. And none of these are red, so there's a little red undertone. It should be fine. You know that back in the olden days, it was common to undercoat paintings red. Like portraits and stuff. At least that is what I saw on YouTube. And don't we know that we always believe everything we see on YouTube, right? Yeah. Because I don't know anything about real art. I only know how to fake it. Because I don't know how to paint. This is probably not going to be, this is just me trimming the edges, and I'm going to undercoat it and blah, 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 blah. And I'm not actually really painting yet. I'm just kind of prepping the canvas. And you guys are used to this because, you know, you're used to seeing me start something and then, you know, it ends up being something totally different. So... because, yeah. I just paint. And I sometimes I have a plan, and sometimes I just grab a canvas and I'm like, I'm gonna start doing something. And honestly, I kind of like the not planned. Sometimes I have a plan though. I need more coffee. I wonder, what is, the other side is completely, okay. I was thinking, what is the other side again? It's completely abstract. So this one should have some semblance of a picture or something. I did want to make one that is like one of those Japanese paintings. Because I really enjoyed the Japanese painting that I made. Asian painting. You know what I mean. I made that one for my son. That was like the Asian mountains, and I thought it was cool. And I just like doing different styles and trying things. Not trying to appropriate anything, but I think art is 100% different than other things and other things. Because, I mean, it's all freaking appropriation. I mean, you know, people paint things like the Romans did. So I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, I live in North America. If I were to paint something that looked like a European, would anybody, you know, be like, appropriation? No. So if I want to do a painting that kind of looks inspired by Asian, because it is, that's because I appreciate the art. And to me, you know, when you, what is it they say? Mimicking is the highest sign of flattery, or something like that. Isn't that a famous quote somewhere? Something like that? I don't know. Y'all do. Y'all know. Y'all probably Google it. I can't Google it right now because I'm painting. I'm just tapping color in with this brush. Because I don't know what I'm doing yet. Obviously, this isn't going to be an Asian painting. Do I need to say that? This one isn't going to be. But I do want to do one. Because I can remember when I was younger, and you'd go to those buffets, and you would always see, you know, it was like a cheap buffet, you know what I mean? And you'd go to those cheap buffets, and they would always have like beautiful like art on the wall, and like, you know, it wasn't a super fancy place, always had like beautiful, you know, like stuff hanging on their walls. And I, you know, would admire it. Mainly because I was poor. And to me, I always thought, wow, they have stuff on the walls. Like pretty stuff. Where I grew up with not pretty stuff on the walls. You know, like nothing on the wall. Like, growing up, I didn't have posters or anything. It was just bare walls. My grandma had a painting in her living room. But that was it. Just in the living room. Like her living room that nobody was ever sitting in. And I don't remember what it was. It was a landscape of some kind. Some 1970s, you know, not real painting thing. And when I'm saying 1970s, not a real painting, I am not saying that people have to have real paintings. Like, I'm saying it was not nice. It was just, you know, cheap wall art. That was not interesting to look at. Because I think it doesn't matter if it's like monetarily cheap. I think, you know, if it interests you and you like it and, you know, like, do you? But I think there is some art out there that is bad. You know what I mean? Like, crap that's been reprinted 100 times. It's like a bad landscape. It's not good. Not that my art's good. No, I'm not saying that. But at least I like my art. maybe, most of the time. I think bad art has a place though. I have to say that because then my art would have no place. Ooh, I want to do a little orange here. But I think painting has grown on me. I did not expect to actually like doing it. I thought it was going to be like any other project where, you know, you take it on to, you know, you fix the toilet not because you enjoy plumbing. How's that? And I thought that what I was doing was just going to be painting some, you know, home decor pieces for my son, and, you know, not really liking it, not really expecting to care if they got thrown away in a day. But then I was like, oh my gosh, I kind of like this. And I did realize that, you know, I've always kind of enjoyed you know, going to museums and color. I don't know if I ever told you guys this, but when I was a kid, Picasso came through a museum, and I got to go and see some of Picasso stuff as part of a school thing. And I didn't get to go on field trips much because, you know, field trips are expensive. But I got to go on that one, and I still remember that, like going and like, you know, this was the 80s, and they didn't have like security or anything. They just had like these ropes to keep you back just a little bit, but you could like lean over the ropes and everything and look up close, and it was pretty darn amazing to actually, it might have been the 90s. Early 90s, like 90. I'm not sure. But I thought it was like late 80s, 90s. I would have been in either 4th, 5th, or 7th grade. And I always love field trips. Did you guys like field trips when you were a kid? Getting to go to some magical place? I know when I was in 6th grade, I went to a different museum. That's how I know that, because it was a local museum, and we got to see like local art. And I did it with my art teacher in 6th grade, and I still remember that too, who told me I was an awful artist. And I did not do well in art class in 6th grade. I still remember that. That was like one classes that I just did not think I thought I was going to flunk it. I really did. Because he just did not appreciate the art stuff I was doing. And yeah, it was pretty bad. I can remember like really trying hard at some points to do stuff, and he was like, yeah, you're not following the directions. You're not grasping basic concepts. He was not one that allowed for actually creativity in his art class. So there was that too. Which is weird, because you would think that like an art teacher would encourage, you know, creativity, but he definitely did not. He wanted you to do things the way he wanted them done. Which I'm sure, you know, grasping concepts and all of that, you know. But we had to make some jewelry out of clay. He did not like my jewelry out of clay. I did not understand why he did not like my jewelry out of clay. But my jewelry out of clay was a complete failure for him. Which is funny because years later, I actually made real jewelry. So joke's on him. I actually got to do it. Where, you know, you cast it in wax and all of that. My sister, one of them, she did some goldsmithing, and I helped her with it. And I really enjoyed it too. I might have to make more paint now because I have used it all here. But I need to come back in and do something else because okay. I like it. I think I'm going to come back in later. And I think I'm going to wrap this palette up and use it. For this. And then get a different palette. And completely change my idea of what I'm going to use for this. Which, by the way, is still very wet. Because, of course it is. So, I'm going to go... What do you think of that? See, I'm looking at this, and you know what it reminds me of? A forest. So I was thinking I might do a tree here, and then a tree here, and use these colors. But I'm going to let this dry first, the background, and then come in and use a less smooshy style. And I might even change the paint colors just a little bit and add some black or something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. Throwing ideas out, spitballing. And this video is way too freaking long because you see, I've just gotten back. And I'm making videos again, and I forgot the #1 rule is you can't be too wordy, because, you know. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry. There was a little part over here where it's a little too red for me. Okay. Bye, thank you. See ya.